The HSS Eternal Dawn came out of hyperspace like a whale rising from deep water. The ship was 2 kilometers long, painted in dark gray and black. It moved slowly through the empty space near a purple nebula. Stars burned cold and distant all around it. Captain Park Do-yun stood on the bridge with his hands behind his back. He was a tall man in his mid-40s with gray hair at his temples and calm eyes that had seen many things. He watched the main screen as it showed the beautiful colors of the nebula. "Beautiful," he said quietly. "Simply beautiful." Commander Kang Sora looked up from her tactical station. She was younger than the captain, with sharp features and quick eyes that never missed anything. "Captain, I am picking up something on sensors. 12 ships. They are coming toward us." Park turned to look at her. 12 ships? What kind? Unknown design. I have never seen anything like them before. They are smaller than us, much smaller. The biggest one is maybe 400 meters long. Lieutenant Yoon Tae-woo, the young weapons officer, leaned forward at his station. He had messy hair and eyes that were always curious. "First contact situation, Captain. This is exciting." "Keep your excitement under control, Lieutenant," Park said, but he was smiling a little. "Let us see who our new friends are. Keep all weapons offline. I do not want them to think we are a threat." Dr. Baek Yoonji walked onto the bridge. She was the chief science officer, a woman with kind eyes and a gentle voice. She always wore her hair in a neat bun. "Captain, I heard we have visitors. May I observe?" "Of course, Doctor. You might be the most important person here if we need to communicate with them." Far away on the largest alien ship, High Arbiter Velos watched the strange vessel on his screen. He was tall and thin, with blue-gray skin and 4 arms. His species, the Kalari, had ruled this part of space for 1,000 years. They had conquered hundreds of worlds. They had never lost a war. "What is that thing?" Velos asked. His voice was deep and cold. Sub-Commander Rethis stood beside him. He was younger than Velos, with lighter skin and worried eyes. "We do not know, High Arbiter. It does not match any ship in our records. It is very big." "Big does not mean dangerous," Velos said. "Scan it. I want to know everything about this ship. Every weapon, every system, everything." "Yes, High Arbiter." The Kalari were proud of their scanning technology. It could look inside any ship and count every weapon, every crew member, every secret. No one could hide from Kalari scanners. This was why they always won. They always knew exactly what they were fighting. On the Eternal Dawn, Commander Kang looked at her screen with interest. "Captain, they are scanning us." "Let them," Park said. "We have nothing to hide. Maybe they will see that we are peaceful." Lieutenant Yoon laughed quietly. "Or maybe they will see our weapons and run away." "Lieutenant," Commander Kong said sharply, "that is not helpful." "Sorry, Commander." Dr. Baek was looking at her own screen. "The scan is very advanced. They are reading our entire ship. Hull composition, power systems, crew count. They are thorough." "Good," Park said. "That means they are smart. Smart people can be talked to." Back on the Kalari flagship, the scan was complete. A technician pulled up the results on a large screen. Rethis walked over to read them. He stopped. His 4 hands began to shake. "High Arbiter," he said. His voice was strange. "You need to see this." Velos walked over with confidence. He had seen scan results of 1,000 enemy ships. He knew what to expect. Weapons, shields, engines. Nothing special, nothing that could threaten the Dominion. He looked at the screen. The numbers made no sense. He blinked and looked again. Still the same, impossible numbers. The weapons list went on and on. Antimatter torpedoes, kinetic accelerators, plasma lances, graviton disruptors. Things with names the computer could not translate. Things marked simply as unknown, extreme threat. The power output was higher than his entire fleet combined. The armor was made of materials that did not exist in Kalari science. The crew numbered only 800. 800 beings on a ship that could destroy worlds. "This cannot be right," Velos said. "Run the scan again." "We already did, High Arbiter, 3 times. The results are the same." Velos stared at the screen. In 300 years of war, he had never felt afraid. He had faced enemies with superior numbers. He had fought in battles that seemed impossible to win. He had always won because he always knew he was stronger. Now, for the first time, he understood that he was not stronger. He was not even close. That ship floating peacefully in space could kill everything in his fleet before they could fire a single shot. And the worst part? Their weapons were not even powered on. Their shields were at minimum. They were not ready for battle at all. They did not think they needed to be. Rethus leaned close and spoke quietly. "High Arbiter, what do we do?" Velos did not answer. He could not. He just kept staring at the screen, at the impossible numbers, at the truth he did not want to accept. They had scanned the human battleship, and now they understood their mistake. High Arbiter Velos stood frozen in front of the screen for a long time. The bridge was silent. Every Kalari officer watched him, waiting for orders. But Velos had no orders to give. He was still trying to understand what he was seeing. Sub-Commander Rethus broke the silence. "High Arbiter, the other captains are asking for orders. What should I tell them?" Velos turned slowly. His old eyes were troubled. "Tell them nothing. Not yet. I need to think." "But High Arbiter, they will want to know why we are waiting. Captain Thovis is already asking permission to attack." "Thovis is a fool," Velos said sharply. "If he attacks that ship, he will die. We will all die." Rethus looked at the scan data again. "I do not understand how this is possible. Our weapons are the best in the galaxy. How can one ship have this much power?" "That is the question," Velos said. He walked to his command chair and sat down heavily. "Who are these beings? Where do they come from? And why have we never heard of them before?" On the Eternal Dawn, things were much more relaxed. Captain Park Do-yun was drinking tea in his chair while watching the alien fleet on the screen. They had not moved for almost an hour now. "They seem nervous," Commander Kang said. "They finished their scan a long time ago, but they have not done anything since then." Dr. Beck smiled. "Perhaps they are just being careful. First contact can be scary for everyone." Lieutenant Yoon was looking at his screen with interest. "I analyzed their scan, Captain. It was very detailed. They know everything about us now, every weapon, every system." "And what do we know about them?" Park asked. "Quite a lot, actually. Their scan gave us information about their technology, too." Yoon pulled up some data. "Their weapons are, well, they are not bad. For maybe 500 years ago." Commander Kang raised an eyebrow. 500 years behind us? "Give or take. Their shields could not stop our weakest weapons. Their armor would melt under our plasma lances. Their reactors put out less power than our backup systems." Dr. Bayek looked worried. "That is a very big gap. They must feel very vulnerable right now." "Maybe that is why they are not moving," Park said thoughtfully. "They scanned us. Now they know what we can do, and they are afraid." "Should we try to communicate?" Dr. Bayek asked. "Let them know we are friendly?" Park nodded. "Yes, I think that is a good idea. Send them a greeting. Something simple. Mathematical patterns first, then basic language. Let them know we come in peace." The communications officer got to work. Soon, a message was flying through space toward the Kalari fleet. It started with prime numbers, then simple pictures, then a basic greeting in universal symbols. "We come in peace. We want to talk." On the Kalari flagship, alarms started beeping. Rethus rushed to check them. "High Arbiter, they are sending us a message." Velos sat up straight. "Weapons? An attack?" "No." "High Arbiter, It is a communication. They are trying to talk to us. The message played on the screen. Prime numbers, pictures, then words their computers quickly translated. We come in peace. We want to talk. Velos stared at the words. Peace. These beings with their impossible weapons, their terrifying power, wanted peace. Part of him wanted to believe it. Another part, the part that had fought wars for 300 years, was suspicious. It could be a trick, he said. Rethis shook his head. High Arbiter, look at their ship. Their weapons are still cold. Their shields are still at minimum. If they wanted to destroy us, they would have done it already. Why pretend to be peaceful? Velos considered this. It was true. If the scan data was correct and he had no reason to think it was wrong, then the humans could destroy his entire fleet in seconds. They did not need tricks. They did not need lies. They had pure, overwhelming power, and yet they were asking for peace. This makes no sense, Velos muttered. No species with this kind of power asks for peace. They take what they want. They conquer. That is how the universe works. Perhaps, Rethis said carefully, they are different. Velos looked at his second-in-command. Different. Could that be true? Could there be a species so powerful that they did not need to conquer, so strong that they could choose to be kind? The thought was terrifying and wonderful at the same time. On the eternal dawn, the crew waited for a response. Minutes passed. Then more minutes. No reply yet, the communications officer reported. Captain Park nodded patiently. Give them time. This is a lot to process. Imagine if someone much stronger than you suddenly appeared and said they wanted to be friends. Would you trust them immediately? Dr. Bach smiled. The captain is right. Trust takes time. We should be patient. Commander Kang was watching the tactical display. One of their ships is moving, the smallest one in the back. It is breaking formation. Park leaned forward. What is it doing? It is powering up weapons, Captain. The bridge became tense. Lieutenant Yoon's hands moved toward his console. Should I bring our weapons online? Not yet, Park said calmly. Let us see what they do. On the Kalari flagship, Velos was shouting into his communicator. Captain Thovis, return to formation immediately. That is a direct order. Thovis's voice came back, arrogant and confident. High Arbiter, with respect, you are being a coward. These aliens are bluffing. No ship can be that powerful. I will prove it. Thovis, you fool! You will kill us all! But Thovis was not listening anymore. His ship was accelerating toward the human vessel. His weapons were charging. Velos watched in horror. There was nothing he could do. Thovis was about to attack the most dangerous ship in the universe, and Velos knew exactly how it would end. Captain Thovis was a proud Kalari. He had fought in 12 wars and won them all. He did not believe in fear. He believed in action. And right now he believed that High Arbiter Velos was being a coward. The scan must be wrong, Thovis said to his crew. No ship can have that much power. It is impossible. I will show everyone the truth. His ship, the Swift Blade, raced toward the human vessel. 200 missiles were loaded and ready. His crew was nervous, but they trusted their captain. He had never been wrong before. On the eternal dawn, Commander Kang tracked the incoming ship with calm efficiency. The small vessel is on attack approach. They are locking weapons on us. Captain Park sighed. He put down his teacup. That is disappointing. I really hoped we could avoid this. They are firing, Kang announced. On the screen, they watched as over 200 missiles launched from the Kalari ship. The weapons flew through space like angry bees, all heading straight for the eternal dawn. Lieutenant Yoon looked at his captain, waiting for orders. His fingers hovered over the weapons console. Park nodded once. Defense only. Stop the missiles. Yoon pressed a button. The ship's point defense system came alive. What happened next was almost too fast to see. Hundreds of small laser turrets on the Eternal Dawn turned toward the incoming missiles. They began firing with perfect accuracy. Every single beam hit its target. In exactly 4.7 seconds, all 200 missiles were destroyed. They exploded in bright flashes of light, far from the human ship. Not a single warhead came within 10 kilometers of the hull. On the swift blade, Captain Thovis watched in disbelief. That is not possible. How did they stop everything? We fired 200 missiles. His weapons officer was shaking. Captain, their defense system is faster than anything I have ever seen. They did not even use their main weapons. Those were just small point defense guns. For the first time in his life, Thovis felt a cold fear in his stomach. The scan data was real. The human ship was everything it appeared to be, and he had just attacked it. On the Eternal Dawn, Captain Park stood up from his chair. His face was sad, not angry. They attacked us. We must respond. But I do not want anyone to die today. He turned to Lieutenant Yoon. Can you disable their ship without killing the crew? Yoon studied his screens for a moment. Yes, Captain. One shot from the secondary kinetic cannon. I can destroy their weapons and engines while leaving life support intact. It will require very precise targeting. Do it. Yoon aimed carefully. This was not about power. This was about control. Anyone could destroy a ship. It took real skill to defeat one without killing anyone. He fired. The shot was invisible to Kalari sensors. One moment, everything was normal. The next moment, something punched through the swift blade from front to back. The projectile was small but incredibly fast. It traveled through the entire ship in less than a second. Every weapon system exploded. Every engine died. Power went down across the ship. Alarms screamed. Crew members were thrown from their feet. And then, silence. Captain Thovis picked himself up from the floor. His ship was dead. No weapons, no engines, no power except for emergency systems. They were floating helplessly in space. But they were alive. All of them. Not a single crew member was dead. How? Thovis whispered. How did they do this? On the Kalari flagship, High Arbiter Velos had watched everything with growing horror. The missiles being destroyed. The single shot. The precise, surgical strike that disabled Thovis's ship without taking a single life. Rethus was standing beside him, his face pale. High Arbiter, did you see that? One shot, just one shot, and they did not kill anyone. They could have destroyed the ship completely, but they chose not to. Velos nodded slowly. He understood now. This was not just a display of power. This was a message. The humans were saying, we could destroy you easily, but we do not want to. We choose mercy, a species that could show such control, such restraint, even when attacked. That was more frightening than any weapon. All ships, Velos said into his communicator. His voice was tired but clear. Power down all weapons, lower all shields, signal our surrender. High Arbiter? Several captains replied in shock. You heard me. We cannot fight these beings. We cannot defeat them. Our only chance is to hope they meant what they said. We surrender and pray they really do want peace. On the Eternal Dawn, Commander Kang reported the news. Captain, the alien fleet is powering down. They are surrendering. Dr. Beck let out a breath she did not know she was holding. Thank goodness. No more fighting. Captain Park sat back down in his chair. He looked at the disabled Kalari ship floating dead in space. Send rescue teams to help that ship. Make sure everyone is safe. Then open communications with the alien commander. What will you say to them? Dr. Beck asked. Park smiled gently. The same thing we said before. We come in peace. We want to talk. Maybe this time they will believe us. Lieutenant Yoon was looking at his console. Captain, the ship I disabled, everyone on board is alive. All 120 crew members. Life support is stable. Good work, Lieutenant. That was an excellent shot. Yoon smiled, but there was something thoughtful in his eyes. I hope they understand what we were trying to say. They understand, Commander Kang said. She was watching the Kalari fleet on her screen, all their weapons dark, all their shields down. Believe me, they understand perfectly. The shuttle from the Kalari flagship docked with the Eternal Dawn 2 hours after the battle. High Arbiter Velos and Sub-Commander Rethis stepped out into the human ship with careful, measured steps. Dr. Baek Yoonji was waiting for them with a warm smile. Welcome to the Eternal Dawn. I am Dr. Baek. The captain is waiting for you. Please, follow me. Velos nodded stiffly. He did not trust these humans yet. They had shown mercy, yes, but mercy could be a trick. He kept his eyes open as they walked through the ship. The hallways were wide and clean. Human crew members walked past them, nodding politely but not staring. They seemed normal, not like monsters, not like conquerors, just ordinary people going about their work. They passed a large window that looked into a training room. Inside, humans were fighting each other with their bare hands. Rethis stopped to watch. The humans moved fast, faster than any Kalari could move. Their punches and kicks were powerful enough to break bones, yet they were laughing. This was just exercise for them. Your people are very strong, Rethis said to Dr. Baek. Our home planet had high gravity, Dr. Baek explained. We evolved to be strong. But strength is not everything. We have learned this lesson many times. They continued walking. They passed an armory with the door open. Rethis looked inside and felt his blood go cold. Weapons of every type filled the room. Rifles, pistols, blades, things he could not even name. Enough weapons to arm a small army. Why do you have so many weapons? He asked. Dr. Baek's smile became a little sad. We have a complicated history. We like to be prepared. They reached the conference room. Captain Park Do-hyun stood to greet them. Commander Kang and Lieutenant Yoon were also present, sitting at a large table. High Arbiter Velos, Park said, bowing his head slightly. Thank you for coming. Please sit. Can we offer you food or drink? Velos sat slowly, as if expecting a trap. I will not eat your food. I do not know if it is safe for my kind. Understandable. Water, then? We have analyzed your biology. Plain water should be safe. You analyzed our biology? Park smiled. Your scan gave us much information about you as well. We wanted to make sure we could help if anyone was injured. Velos accepted a glass of water but did not drink. He stared at the human captain. You could have destroyed us, all of us. Why did you not? Because we did not want to, Park said simply. We came here to explore, not to fight. Your captain attacked us. We defended ourselves, but we did not want anyone to die. That is not how the universe works, Velos said. The strong take from the weak. That is the natural order. Park leaned back in his chair. His eyes became distant, as if looking at something far away. We used to believe that too. For thousands of years, humans fought each other. We killed millions of our own kind. We built weapons that could destroy entire cities in seconds. We came very close to ending ourselves completely. Rethis leaned forward, fascinated. What happened? What changed? We finally understood that strength without wisdom is destruction. Power without mercy is just murder. We had to choose. Become better or die. We chose to become better. But you kept your weapons, Velos said. If you are peaceful, why do you still carry the tools of war? Park nodded slowly. We keep them to remember, to remind ourselves of what we are capable of. Every human knows the history. We know how terrible we can be. The weapons are our warning to ourselves. Never again. Never become the monsters we once were. And if someone threatens your peace? Park's eyes became hard. Just for a moment, Velos saw something ancient and dangerous in them. Then we end that threat. Completely. We do not enjoy violence, but we are very, very good at it. We would prefer to be friends. We would prefer peace. But if forced to fight, we will win. We always win. The room was silent. Velos finally understood. The humans were not predators looking for prey. They were survivors who had escaped from a terrible darkness. They carried the scars of their own cruelty, and they had sworn never to become cruel again. But they had also kept all their teeth. "I believe I understand now," Velos said slowly. "You are peaceful because you choose to be, not because you are weak." "Exactly," Park said, and his smile returned. "Now, shall we talk about friendship between our peoples? I think we have much to offer each other." The meeting went on for hours. They talked about trade, about culture, about science. Dr. Bayek translated when necessary, but soon they developed their own way of understanding each other. Rethis found himself talking with Lieutenant Yoon about weapons technology. He was shocked to learn that Yoon was only 28 years old, a child, by Kalari standards. Yet this child had disabled a warship with a single perfect shot. "Do you enjoy fighting?" Rethis asked. Yoon thought about it. "I enjoy being good at something. I enjoy protecting my friends. But fighting? No. I would rather everyone just got along." "Then why become a weapons officer?" "Because someone has to be. If I am in charge of the weapons, I can make sure they are used wisely. I can protect without destroying, like today." At the end of the meeting, Velos stood and bowed to Captain Park. "I must send a message to my government. I need to tell them about you." "Of course. What will you tell them?" Velos looked out the window at the stars. "I will tell them to welcome you as friends. I will tell them that you are the most dangerous species in the universe. And I will tell them that this is exactly why we must never, ever make you our enemies." Captain Park smiled. "That sounds like a good start." 6 months had passed since the day the Kalari scanned the human battleship. The galaxy was not the same anymore. Nothing was the same. The news had spread like fire through dry grass. A new species called humans had appeared. They had weapons that could destroy entire fleets. They had power that made the mightiest empires look like children. And yet, when attacked, they had shown mercy. They had disabled an enemy ship without killing anyone. Some civilizations were terrified, some were curious, some, foolishly, thought they could fight the humans and win. They were wrong. The Kalari Dominion had changed completely. High Arbiter Velos no longer commanded warships. He was now the official ambassador to humanity. His job was to build friendship, not destroy enemies. He found that he liked this new role very much. The Eternal Dawn continued its mission of exploration. But now, 2 Kalari escort ships flew beside it, a symbol of the new alliance. Sub-Commander Rethis had actually joined the human crew as an observer. He lived on the ship, ate with the humans, and learned their ways. "You humans are strange," Rethis said one evening in the ship's dining hall. He was eating a bowl of rice, which he had learned to enjoy. "You have all this power, but you use it so carefully." Lieutenant Yoon sat across from him, finishing his own meal. "Power is easy. Control is hard. Anyone can destroy. It takes skill to protect. But do you not want to conquer? To rule? With your strength, you could own the galaxy?" Yoon laughed. "And then what? We would have a galaxy full of slaves who hate us. That sounds terrible. I would rather have friends." Dr. Bayek joined them at the table. She had been working hard on translation programs and cultural guides. Her work was helping dozens of species understand humanity better. "Rethis, you look troubled. Is something wrong?" Not wrong, exactly. I just received news from home. Some other civilizations have formed a group. They are afraid of humans. They are planning something. Yoon's expression became serious. What kind of something? I do not know yet, but they are gathering ships, building weapons. They think they can defeat you if they all work together. Dr. Back sighed sadly. Fear makes people do foolish things. We should tell the captain. On the bridge, Captain Park received the news with a calm face. Commander Kang was already analyzing the intelligence reports. She did not seem worried, only thoughtful. They have gathered about 500 ships, Kang reported, several different species working together. They call themselves the Alliance of Free Worlds. Free from what? Park asked. From us, apparently. They believe humanity will eventually try to conquer everyone. They want to strike first. Park shook his head sadly. They do not understand us at all. What do you recommend, Commander? We could destroy their entire fleet before they even know we are there, Kang said matter-of-factly. But that would prove them right about us being dangerous. Instead, I suggest we show them the same thing we showed the Kalari. Mercy? Mercy and patience. Let them come. Let them try to fight. Defeat them without killing anyone. Eventually, they will understand. Rethis, who had followed them to the bridge, spoke up. That could take a long time. They might attack many times before they learn. Park smiled. We have time. Humans are very patient when it matters. We waited thousands of years to reach the stars. We can wait a little longer for peace. 3 weeks later, the Eternal Dawn encountered a fleet from the Alliance of Free Worlds, 20 ships, bristling with weapons, blocking their path through a narrow passage between two gas giants. The Alliance commander broadcast a challenge. Human ship, we are the protectors of galactic freedom. Surrender now, or be destroyed. Captain Park opened a channel to reply. Before he could speak, something unexpected happened. The Kalari escort ships moved forward. They broadcast their own message. This is Sub-Commander Rethis of the Kalari Dominion. You are making a terrible mistake. We have seen what the humans can do. We have the full scan data of their warships. We are sending it to you now. The data packet was sent. On 20 Alliance ships, 20 commanders looked at the same impossible numbers that Velos had seen 6 months ago. The weapons, the power, the armor, everything. There was a very long silence. Then, one by one, the Alliance ships began powering down their weapons. The formation broke apart. Ships turned and flew away, moving as fast as their engines could carry them. The Alliance commander sent one final message before leaving. We apologize for the misunderstanding. Please, continue your journey. We will not bother you again. On the Eternal Dawn, the crew watched the retreating fleet with a mixture of relief and amusement. Lieutenant Yoon was laughing quietly. They did not even try to fight. They just ran away. Can you blame them? Rethis asked. I ran away in my heart when I first saw that data. They are just being smart. Dr. Beck was smiling. This is good. No one died. No one was hurt. They learned without suffering. Captain Park stood from his chair and stretched. Well, that was easier than expected. Commander Kang, continue on course. We have more galaxy to explore. Yes, Captain. Rethis walked to the main window and looked out at the stars. He thought about everything that had happened. The scan that changed history. The mercy that prevented a war. The friendship that was growing between species who had been strangers. He understood now why the humans were the way they were. They had climbed out of darkness. They had survived their own worst nature. They knew, better than anyone, what unchecked power could do. So they chose to be gentle giants, kind predators, peaceful warriors. The galaxy would never be the same. But Rethis thought it might just be better. Captain Park appeared beside him, also looking at the stars. "What are you thinking about, my friend?" "The future," Rethus said. "I am thinking about what the galaxy will look like in 100 years, 1,000 years." Park nodded. "I think about that too. I hope it will be peaceful. I hope we can teach others what we learned. That strength is not about what you can destroy. It is about what you can protect." The eternal dawn glided forward into the endless dark, carrying its terrifying weapons and its gentle crew toward whatever came next. Behind it, the story of the humans spread further and further across the stars, and every civilization that heard the story learned the same lesson. Do not scan a human battleship. You might not like what you find, but if you must know the truth, then know this as well. They would rather be your friend than your enemy. Choose wisely.